You're catching up with Roo, Dits and Loz for breakfast. Thanks to Sterling Homes. Make the move and visit sterlinghomes.com.au today. Test drive the all-new, all-electric Toyota BZ4X at Peter Kittle Toyota.
Get all the news you need.
104.7 Triple M.
Hello, Adelaide.
No one knows Adelaide like these guys. Triple M Breakfast with Roo, Dits and Loz.
Overnight news.
I mentioned just a moment ago a record for the Fringe. We're talking ticket sales. Now, not everyone loves it, I know. You speak to some of the publicans, and Roo, I think this involved you over years, that it makes it hard for some pubs around the place. But
it's good for Adelaide.
It is. I think it's an amazing event.
Great for Adelaide.
The nights that I go in there, I personally love it. I know you do, Loz. Mm-hmm. But at 1,040,000 tickets.
Yeah, it's
a record.
numbers, isn't it? It's great.
We broke last year's record.
Yeah.
I reckon they had 1 million last year, didn't they?
Yep.
So we just fell over the line.
And that was a big deal when it happened last year. So, yeah, we had Heather Kroll, the boss, and she said it was going to happen. So
we're the second biggest in the world. Edinburgh's the biggest, and then us, which is, I think it's fantastic.
Have you ever been to Edinburgh Fringe?
No.
I want to go over and just see.
Do the show from there next year, Loz.
Yeah.
We'll send you to Edinburgh Fringe.
Oh, God, that'd be taking me out in the bloody hearse. If you're using 3G right now, if you're on one of the old telco phones, no longer. It's going to be shutting down.
Yeah.
So you've got a couple more weeks, I think, before they wipe it. And
It's actually a serious issue because it's already happening where people can't dial 000.
Yeah.
And if you live in country areas, it's a major problem. And someone died recently. They couldn't get through.
I know.
And couldn't get an ambulance.
Serious issue for a mate of mine who's still got I reckon it's about a 30-year-old flip-top phone. And he was talking to me on Saturday at the footy down at Strathalbyn. We're down there for a memorial game, and his wife was stirring him up. He's got a red old little phone that's
an antique.
The 3G finishes in June 30, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
A lot of people have gone from smartphones to what they're calling dumb phones, which is old Nokias and stuff, because they don't want to use the internet all the time. Well, those people won't be able to use those phones anymore. They're going to be forced to.
Surely there's a new phone with no internet, isn't there?
I don't know that there is. I mean, you could probably disable it all, but then you need it active to make calls and stuff and send texts if you've got an iPhone, because it operates on a network as opposed. Yeah. Anyway, it's a bit complicated, but Elon Musk has come out and said that 2029 is the year that AI will be taking over humans in terms of intelligence. The collective intelligence of artificial intelligence will be stronger than that.
Or the average human, or the
no, all human intelligence.
So the
combined.
smartest human. What?
Yeah, smarter than any human on the planet.
Yeah, so
which is just fantastic, Elon. What is wrong with us? Seriously, we know he's literally come out and said the greatest threat to people is AI. Also, here's this robot I'm building that's going to be smarter than us all. Just stop it. Why do we keep doing this?
But, look, it scares me. I don't like it. Can I just quickly give you an example? Now, the people at McGain Real Estate spoke to me about this last week. And, Roo, this, I think, will affect your brother, maybe in a positive way. But your brother's in real estate as well, okay? They've all just been to this national conference in Sydney, and they had all these speakers from all over the world. A fella did a presentation, and I don't know what they were talking about. This is a short version of the story. What would normally take them a couple of days to put together and 3 people involved, this fella did a demonstration, did it in 10 minutes. Through AI. In other words, listing a house, doing all the paperwork, all of the photos, all of the everything, the video, bang, done. So you're getting rid of 3 jobs.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of thing that I'm a bit...
I'm worried about that. I'm also worried about the robots getting to the point where they can lock us out of our own technology and make decisions about our society that we can't control.
But I want a building full of people coming to work
that,
and doing stuff.
I don't know, Roo. It's possible.
Well, if you're going to start worrying about that, you're going to have a very sad next 20 years.
I think I will anyway, but
that just adds to
it. And just to wrap things up on a positive
if you're worried
note,
about that, don't worry about work and just go out in a bender for the next 8
Don't,
years. How many years we got? 5.
No, but you know what I mean?
For
Like,
2029.
we all
take
want
much
to come
convincing.
in every morning and have and plan a breakfast show and put it to air, or in 10 years' time, just no one turn up. Someone will just press a button and there'll be an automated show.
We'll sit on the couch like someone will plug us into a machine.
Yeah.
And we'll enjoy our cyber life.
Hopefully that's not going to happen.
You guys, you've never bought anything online, have you, Roo?
No.
No? What about you, Jits?
Yeah, I have.
Yep, you've been scammed, haven't you, when you've
Couple
done
times.
that? Yeah. Well, apparently baby boomers are now the fastest growing online shopping market. So in Australia, it's taken us a very, very long time to get on board.
Right.
The rest of the world was like, boomers were like, yeah, whatever, of
Got
course.
too much money, the boomers.
Yeah, so they're finally
And
doing
time.
it. It's happening. Australia Post going to be dropping off parcels in Harndorf and, you
I
know.
haven't bought anything online, but I've collected a lot of parcels.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Now, I've got a story to tell you. I've got two parts to this story, so please bear with me.
Okay.
Partner Jackie's gone home to New South Wales. That's where she's from. Gone home for 5 days. And I'm thinking, house to myself, relax a bit, just, batching for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yesterday morning, get woken up by a phone call. She goes, did you bring the washing in? I said, no.
When did she leave?
I'm still staring at the ceiling. What day is it?
Yeah.
When did she leave?
Saturday. Hung out, and she hung out the washing. And I said, why is this so? She said, it rained overnight. So she's checking
she's
not only on me, but on
watching.
the Bureau of Meteorology in Adelaide.
She's typing Adelaide in.
It rained. I said, I've just woken up. I wouldn't have a clue. She said, no, it rained. It did. I'm telling you, it rained. And did you bring the washing? I said, well, no, I didn't. Well, now the clothes are wet. I said, what? So they got water on them, like they did when they were in the washing machine. Anyway, so that's the first part of the story. I'm being monitored even,
Do they stretch when they get wet on the line or not?
This is the thing. I don't know.
Part two of this story. Part two is yesterday I get home from the footy, did the Port Adelaide game for Triple M.
Yeah.
Got home at about 7 p.m. and it's a beautiful balmy night. It was really warm outside. And in my street, I live in a cul-de-sac, all the neighbours are out the front having a beer.
You're kidding?
Yeah, brilliant. They're all out there,
good's that?
pulled up a deck chair each and sitting out in the middle of the road.
Oh, that doesn't happen
So
much
there's
these
Andrew
days.
and Adriana
Hey.
and there's Sue with her dog and there's Peter and Val and,
Wow.
Florin. And then it's all right.
Celebrating a port victory.
Bloody
Yeah,
Ramsey
exactly.
Street.
Anyway, I start talking about. I said to the ladies, does it really matter if the washing got wet and whatever? Well,
a can of worms.
a can of worms. This discussion went for an
say?
hour. First, did you hang the clothes out correctly? I
Pardon?
said, well, I didn't actually hang them out, but one lady, one of my neighbours said, well, she said, you won't believe this, but I have colour coded. Every item has the same coloured
that's
pegs.
just OCD.
I said, why?
What's that about?
She said, because it just looks right. It looks neat.
Sarah
Looks
makes
right.
me, if I take it in, I've got to take the pegs off the line.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise they get
Preserve
brittle.
the pegs. That's right. Pegs get brittle.
Brittle,
I
yeah.
got told that as well. The other one is with T-shirts, with ladies' T-shirts. See, I hang everything right at the bottom of the shirt.
Nah.
No, you got to hold.
Stretches the corner.
Yeah, you got to put it over halfway. Fold
Yeah.
it over halfway. And then I said, yeah, but then you leave peg marks halfway down
Halfway?
the shirt.
I have
Peg marks on the shirt.
I have my own way of doing it. I use the top end of the t-shirt where the arms are because that's the strongest.
You hang it that
fabric.
way?
But not quite on the tip, just sort of under the armpits. Because I find that the weight distribution works best. That's
Weight
my only
distribution,
rule.
see?
But that's my only rule.
I've learned so much. Weight distribution.
Trust me, your neighbours would dry reach if they saw the situation with my clothesline.
Yeah.
First of all, don't bring the pegs in. And all my pegs are crumbling like they're stumps. They're
Yeah.
just like, the little bit, and I'm like jamming it on there.
Yeah.
I leave things
buy
out.
new ones?
I leave things out for days,
See this? I've started again. See, people will talk about hanging out clothes for hours.
Yeah.
It's a hot
I
topic.
just can't believe it.
What is wrong with leaving them out when they get wet with the rain?
No idea.
Because if that's a crime, I'm going away for life.
I know.
048851047.
The sun will
Texting
come
you
out. It'll dry them.
tomorrow.
It's Rude, it's a Loz. Triple M.
And now this phone has been done to dinner, but you just got to bring it back every now and then when you get the opportunity. And we had someone call up the other day and they were telling a funny story and they brought up how they got their nickname.
Camping up in the middle of nowhere, and I love fishing, and of course we were, and I was just baiting up my line with the worms, and a kid ran past and tripped on the rod, and the hook went straight in my finger. Worm was still wiggling away. Big hero Dad came along and tried to rip it out. It was excruciating. Then we had to just chop off the fishing line. It was 4 hours to the nearest hospital, and I had the nickname Fish Fingers for the rest of my life.
Fish fingers. I was listening to the GWS Collingwood game in round 0, and they were talking about Connor Iden's nickname. You know what it is? Did you hear it at all?
No.
Connor Iden.
Yeah, who's the defender for GWS. His nickname's Seek. Iden Seek.
Oh, that's so good.
Heath Shaw, who played for Collingwood and GWS, gave him the nickname
Iden Seek.
Roo, do you remember who first called you Roo? Where did it come from? Who was the first person?
Pre-me.
Because it was your
dad
brother.
and brother.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? So
Yeah, just
family's
Roo
always
for
been...
Roo Tutor, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Righto.
Where do you think it come from?
No, I thought it was a footy thing. I thought someone in the world of football
you
must
thought it
have...
was kangaroo or something. did
Yeah,
you?
no. I mean, I thought there might have been a commentator that coined the phrase or the name, but so it goes way back.
Who called you the big red cat?
Some journalist.
Really?
Yeah, it was
well,
a headline.
Is that a nickname from years ago?
Yeah, it was a headline.
I thought
Was
that was
it-
Sammy from here.
No.
No, that's been around,
So
squash
Darren
days?
Cale grabbed it and ran with it. He found it somewhere who I went to school
The
with.
big red cat.
Yeah,
What
used
a
to prowl
name.
around the court. They reckon.
Oh.
Yeah. That's how it happened.
Prowl around the court or the bars?
Yeah,
Both.
all right. Yeah,
On
late
and
night.
off.
Yeah.
Some of them are very straightforward, like Loz, obviously short for Laura, which actually confuses a lot of
Yeah,
people. They
that's-
think it's Lauren. But some, it's not quite what it says on the tin. So we've got 3 people who are employed here in sales, and one of them's nickname is Gunner.
Yep.
The other one is Nails.
That's right.
And the other one is Mad Dog. They're all just pretty straight up and down blokes.
You've got to earn that name, Mad Dog. You
So-
don't get given that unless you're bit
I know.
cuckoo.
Mad.
I don't know where Mad Dog comes from.
No.
Gunner and Nails names have nothing to do with it. They're both called Alex. Their last names have nothing to do with it. One of them was because Nails, someone hacked his email and said out something about him being hard as nails years ago.
Really?
And that's his nickname
That was
now.
it?
And Gunner, his brother couldn't pronounce Alexander when he was a kid and he used to call him Gunner. And
Yeah.
now people in actual national sales meetings call
I know.
him Gunner.
Well, that's all I knew him as.
I know.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild, isn't it?
You can get involved on 133353 or the text line 0488851047. My brother-in-law Lee was called Pubes because when he was a teenager he had osteitis pubis. Not for
Oh,
anything
there
else.
you
Yeah.
go.
Let's go to Old Norlunga.
You
G'day,
never
Mark.
know.
How'd you get your nickname?
Yeah, g'day guys. So I grew up in Alice Springs for a bit. My nickname is Chilby. So when I was about 2 or 3 years old, some friends of my parents saw me getting around with a little bit of a strut, looking like a wise old man. And Chilby in Aboriginal means wise old man. So
Oh, what a
I got
cool
given
nickname.
that.
Chilby.
Chilby for the rest of your life.
Yeah, like that one. Let's head to the Adelaide Hills, up to Little Hampton. G'day, Mark. What's your nickname?
Oh, my nickname is Flounder, Roo, and I got it when I worked at Australia Post. All of us had nicknames there, and I happened to call a guy Barge Bum one day, and he just said, "Shut up, you fat fish," and someone overheard it, and they went, "Fat fish, Flounder," and I even used that as my email address,
Well-
Flounder at.
Flounder.
They're not the prettiest looking fish, Mark, so you have to wear that one.
I love it. Well done.
Let's go to Old Ranella. Paul, tell us about your nickname.
Yeah, g'day guys. I've been called Granny since grade 1.
Yeah.
Granny.
So-
Granny?
Why Granny?
Yeah, because of my last name. But
Oh.
so if you can, imagine a 5-year-old running around being called Granny all the time.
Granny.
What is your surname?
I'm going to be 60 in 4 months' time, so the surname's Grantham.
Grandson.
Grantham.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
nice
okay.
ball. Let's go to Moonta Bay. G'day, Darren. What's your nickname?
Nobby.
Nobby.
Oh,
All right.
do you want us to
Nobby?
ask? Or?
Well, my last name is spelt COCKSHELL, so you can break it down to two
Right.
parts. So I've had seaweed, weed, sir knob, hornblower, and it got to a stage where in high school I said, "That's it. It is now Nobby."
It's Nobby.
Oh, good.
You made the choice for
Yeah,
Nobby.
well done.
That's what you chose for yourself. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
Nobby.
Well done then.
Yeah, that's
Nobby.
Right, Mick at Manham, what's yours?
No, a mate named Johnny Harris. He wore a yellow skivvy to a Glossop High School sports day in Year 8, and to this day his nickname is Skivvy.
Yeah, you can't wear skivvies in the bush. The old turtlenecks. A yellow one?
Yeah.
That was pre-Wiggles, I
Wouldn't
reckon.
stick out
too.
much, would it?
Yeah.
Hey, what about where we've had our calls from there today? We've had them from Manham, Moonta, Little Hampton. We've had them
Nicknames
all
are big
over
in the bush.
countryside.
How good's that?
Let's go to Walker Flat, another great part of South Australia. G'day, David. What's your nickname?
Mine was Moomba. I used to have a flatulence problem, so I was the largest source of onshore gas in Australia. And the best man at the wedding, the best man at the wedding, didn't take much to get him full, so his nickname was Cabri.
Yeah.
Last and a half, and he's full.
I
There
think
we
Knuckles
go.
gave you that nickname, did he?
Yeah.
I think he might have.
Oh,
David.
Moomba.
Well done.
How good.
Good stuff.
Oh, can you believe this?
She's up
Round one
and
of
about.
football.
We
Round
hadn't
one.
been to bed yet.
Oh, gee.
Shazza Dittmar, she's on the line. Dit's his second cousin. God, he gets on well with her. Port cleaned up the Eagles yesterday on a hot day. Shazza, how was it down there?
Gee, boys, it was hot. It was hotter than Satan's gooch. Look, I was sweating like Ryan Treadray at a vaccination clinic. But, yeah, no.
Oh, what?
I knew you'd love that one, Rupert. Oh, no. The West Coast
soon.
witches' hats are not much chop, are they? Easy pickings for the mighty power.
Yeah, they were. Hey, what about this? It was a record for kicking points. Port kicked 24 behind yesterday. What happened?
Well, I've heard that our new goal-kicking coach is from the UK, isn't he? I mean, are we sure he's not Irish? Well, What's he teaching him? How to put it in the top corner of the net of the penalty box?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what happened. Maybe they've been watching too many Crows games or something, but a lot of misses.
Yeah,
and more misses than my ex Gary, and he's been married 12 times.
Hey, moving on. Hey, did you hear Roo was commentating for Fox Footy? Now, I don't know what happened. Port wouldn't let him into the rooms after the game.
I did hear that, Ditch, and nor should they. Behind enemy lines, he's a spy, he's a Trojan horse, he's working for the enemy. He'd be in there with his recording devices, you know, gathering intelligence, because there's so much intelligence to gather, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you'll be stealing our game plans. Next thing you know, the Crows will be kicking 24 behind.
That's right.
Do you watch any other games over the weekend, Shaz?
Yeah, no, I watched the Crows on Saturday night lose to the Gold Coast. It's a bit of a pity, Roo. Look, no Tex, no Crows. You need some Tex in your life. I've always said it. You know, he's going to have to play till he's 47. Did you see the Suns ruck Jared Witts get a falcon?
I did. Yeah.
Ball right in the face, then bounced 20 metres away. It was actually a decent clearance. I think it was further than the Crows kicked it all day. Still, look, not the worst thing that's happened to the Crows on the Gold Coast, though, is it, Bruce?
It's not Shaz, is it?
Anyway.
All right. Thanks for calling in.
Down the bear.
Yeah, down the bear.
Good on you, Shazza.
Shazza Dittmar.
Down the bear.
On Triple M Breakfast with Roo, Dits and Loz.
Did you learn something?
What did we learn? What did we learn?
Now, vaping is taken off over the last few years. We know that. Still illegal unless you get prescribed by a doctor. Is that right?
Yep. Yep.
Some people are suggesting we need to regulate it now because the black market is booming, as it is when anything is taken away from adults. They would raise $9 billion if they regulated it to the government. Now, that's a lot of money, but at the same time, it's obviously, well, it's not that healthy, is it?
Well, we don't. The jury's still out on what it actually does to you. We're running, you know, ads at the moment that say there's all sorts of crap in it. So
I guess they do that for cigarettes, though, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And they haven't completely
And
outlawed
booze.
them, and they tax the living daylights out of both of those things. So
$9 billion. It's a fair bit of coin,
It is
isn't
a lot of money.
So the
It
black
is.
market's making all that at the moment.
Is that the justification? I suppose if it's going to the black market, you can justify it. You'd say, well, at least it goes to government coffers.
Well, then why not do that with all drugs? You know, like there's
Well,
plenty
they do
of
it
black
with
market.
cigarettes and booze.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want to go down that road,
In
it's-
ACT, it's legal.
Yep, there's
Small amounts.
and
All the bikie gangs are moving over there at the
Canada.
moment
Hmm.
because of that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. What'd you learn, Loz?
I learnt that, you know, okay, so I think we've all known someone who's put laxatives in someone's food or drink as a joke.
Tex Walker does it to me.
Yeah, it's a crime.
Is it? Good. That's what I wanted to know.
come on.
Tex.
No, I'm not joking.
Right.
It's a crime.
Oh, he's in trouble. My legal team's after Tex right now.
You can
Do it
actually,
before the showdown.
What?
it's
him in jail.
considered it's
Throw him
considered
in.
to be spiking, and it's a crime.
There you go.
I found that out on the weekend. Someone told me. They said, "Oh yeah, you're not allowed to legally do that to someone unless
Can
they
we
know."
save this audio for tomorrow when he comes in?
Yeah.
The big idiot.
I'm
Yeah.
noting it down now.
Wait for the showdown.
Oh,
Get him locked up.
pop some in his drink the day before the game.
I love it.
All right, what did you learn, Dits?
What I learnt over the weekend from the world of football, actually, this tickled my funny bone anyway, might not yours. Xavier Dersma played for Port
Great
Adelaide,
name, by
has
the
now
way.
gone to Essendon, right? And Port fans loved him. I did, and he did the old Archer, didn't he? When he kicked a goal, did the bow and arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So over the weekend,
Bit too much.
well, when he kicked a goal, anyway.
Save it for a special.
Oh,
All right.
really? All right.
Anyway, so his sister plays AFLW. Her name's Yasmin. And his brother debuted over the weekend for the Kangaroos. His name's Zane. The Dersmas had their children alphabetically. X, Y, Z. Xavier, Yasmin, and Zane. Can you believe that?
What if they had another
Now,
one after
was that
that?
a
Would it be called
coincidence,
Zero or something?
did they plan this? Have they done this
That's
deliberately?
got to be on purpose,
I know.
surely.
Isn't that funny?
X, Y, Z.
Bloody hell.
And
go.
probably the three most least used letters in the
I
world.
know.
In names, yeah.
All those kids are at the bottom of the roll call.
Yeah.
I think there's another one to come, isn't there?
Yeah, there's another. I don't know what. I'll
He's
have to
a
look
gun
up their
too.
name. Yeah.
I ran into them last year on holidays and spoke to the dad. I think they were up there for the under 16s at the time. I think there's another one
What's
to
their
come.
name? Decimal.
Is there another letter in the alphabet? Where are we up to?
We're up to Z. So
All out.
Xavier,
Back to A?
Yasmin, Zane.
Back to A?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Have to be.
Okay, I like it. Well done.
On a Monday morning, we do a segment called What We Learnt, and
Mm-hmm.
it's various things. We come up with little snippets of quirky things. We did it about 7:15 this morning. I've got an update for you. So what I learnt this weekend was from the world of football. I mentioned
Mm-hmm.
Xavier Dersma, former Port Adelaide player, has gone to Essendon. He's got a sister playing in the AFLW, Yasmin. He's got a brother who debuted for the Kangaroos on the weekend, Zane. And I said, well, the Dersmas, they've had their kids alphabetically, X, Y, Z.
Mm.
There's another brother who we've discovered, and Hamish, what's his name?
Willem.
WXYZ. The Dersmas have had their kids.
Yeah, but they didn't time it right, did they? They must have only thought they were going to have 3
Is
kids.
Xavier the eldest?
Well, I think he is.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
then the youngest is W, so they've gone back to just before.
But anyway,
Yeah.
how funny is that?
That's right.
That's incredible.
XYZ.
WXYZ.
Maybe it was a mistake.
The Dersmas.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
And he could be the best. I think they get better as they get older.
Do they? Do kids?
Well, the young one that just debuted on the weekend's a star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the next one could even be better.
All the
So
talent
the
drops
next-
to the bottom of the pool.
If there was a mistake and another child came along, it'd have to be Violet or Veronica or Victor.
Victor. Ooh, Victor born in 2024.
There
That'd
you
be,
go.
yeah. If you're using a phone that is mainly 3G, you're not going to be able to use it soon. They're basically shutting down the 3G network. They're going to be 4G and up. And some of these phones do say that they're 4G compatible, which is fine, but they need the 3G to call 000. So you won't find out until it's the most emergency moment that your
Yeah.
phone doesn't connect to the 000 line. So I know, bloody annoying. So make sure you're across that, guys. If you're using an older phone and you're on 3G, you might need to upgrade because
It's affecting hundreds of thousands of Australians.
yeah.
I was with a lad in the country on the weekend who was still running with an old Samsung flip top.
Whoa.
Red, must have been early 90s or 90s or something.
Still works.
Late 90s,
And his
yeah.
wife was getting into him about the fact that he had to get a new phone by June 30
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
his phone wasn't going to work.
He likes the old one.
He likes the old flip top.
It works well for him. A lot of people I know have downgraded to sort of older phones because they're sick of the internet ruining their lives and being addicted to their phone. So those people won't be able to use those phones anymore because I'm talking old, like Nokia style. Yeah.
So they're Gonski.
They're Gonski, guys.
They might have to try an iPhone.
Oh, it's
gonna
going to
be a big jump.
Yeah. I'd like to know what's the old tech people are using. Have you still got an old fax machine going on in your house?
I have got a fax machine.
Do you?
Come on.
I have. I don't use
What do
it,
you
but
mean?
I've still.
What are you doing with it?
Well, because it's a printer and a fax, so you can
Right,
do both.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
okay.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
is
got
a-
the dial
Yeah,
number
yeah.
on top and everything.
Yeah.
There are some,
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
yeah. I can still recite the dial-up tone in its entirety. I won't do it to you, but I used to sit in the.
do it.
No, we don't.
No
have
one's
time.
using a video, are they?
VHS.
Yeah.
Highly unlikely. If there's anyone
Slides?
out there, pardon,
Like a slideshow thing?
slide.
What?
A
Well,
projector.
you never know.
If anyone out there's using a Betamax or a dot matrix printer, you know those, we had one of them till it was way too late. And I remember taking assignments into school with the dot matrix, with the little holes punched in the side.
Yeah.
It would print like like that. And all my friends had like
There's
modern
no one with
computers.
a typewriter, is there?
Yeah, but people are LPs are coming back in. That's the
Yeah.
one thing.
Yeah,
they're
because of the
cool.
sound
It's made a
quality.
comeback.
Though. Yeah, they're quite vintage. Typewriters, I know someone who collects typewriters, but they don't use them.
Collect typewriters.
Yeah, there's some really beautiful old ones. They're just like antiques.
And what do they do with them?
They just keep them on display and stuff. They don't use them. They're not like writing letters with them.
One thing my mum did for a long time is she would have to update her washing machine every few years,
Yeah.
and she could not get past having a wringer. Now, do you remember those? The
When
old
you'd
Simpson
squeeze-
pipe?
You'd squeeze it out
Ringer.
yourself.
Squeeze your clothes
Put it
through
through the ringer.
And this is when there were real modern washing machines, and we would have to hunt, well, not we, but she did, hunted high and low.
'Cause
Oh,
she
the
wanted
ringer's
the-
broken down. She get a new one. And
She
instead of going
liked
to
the
this
old
modern,
one.
just push button and automatic everything, no. Had to have a... So I reckon we'd be one of the last houses in Australia to have a ringer washing machine.
I knew a lady who, I think until recently, used a manual sewing machine with the pedal on the foot.
Yeah.
Because she just was so used to it and she didn't like the new ones.
Yeah.
She just knew what she was doing with the pedal.
That was just a staple in a house. It wasn't a sewing
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
Mum
the foot
always
pump.
did the sewing.
And it had a big spinning wheel like that. It wasn't electric at all.
Oh.
It completely operated on a mechanism
no,
with
I'm
your
not
foot.
talking that far
No,
back.
yeah. This was, and they sort of work exactly the same, but you just have to pump your foot the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But people get stuck in their ways and they just don't want to upgrade.
Talking about old technology you're still using. Let's go to Burton. G'day, Paul. What are you using in your house?
How you going, mate?
Yeah, good, Paul. What are you using in your house?
Not me, it's my old man. He's old Maltese bloke, and he's about almost 80, and he's still using the handheld drill with the wooden handle at the top and the winding side. I've actually bought him a 12-volt Makita kit, and he still hasn't even unwrapped it.
Oh, won't do it.
What is this battery rubbish?
Yeah.
Just use a little bit of elbow grease.
Yeah, that's it. Darren, at Hectorville, what are you using?
I've still got an old TV, mate, the old ATV one. Got 4 channels.
Oh, you're kidding.
What, 10, 9, 7
mate,
and ABC?
Yeah, news.
News.
Got the test pattern still?
Don't even get to watch SBS movies when I need to.
That's a bit exotic, yeah.
Darren.
Fat cat's still putting him to bed.
Bit of culture he's missing out on there.
Said to Plimpton Park. G'day, Peter.
G'day, Roo. I just had my VHS video recorder fixed up in a shop on Marion Road.
Really?
The grandkids still watch some of the old kids' videos that we've got. And also, when you talked about slides, I recently purchased a machine that you can put your slides in, and it saves the picture to a UHB or USB, and then I've given copies to all my my family of all their kids photos. So
that's good.
Nice, Pete.
See, that's great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind getting the VHS out. There's some classics.
I've got a lot of old videos on the shed that I'd...
Yeah.
Oh, you've got to
heaps.
do it, Roo.
Yes.
All right, Steve and
Hilarious.
Elizabeth, what are you using?
So it was an old boss of mine on my first construction job, and we had to build a foundation for a petrol station.
Right.
And he got these. So it's two bits of flat bar. It's a flat bar on a tripod, and you get 2 of them. You put them on either side of the pad, and you sort of eyeball it in. So I found out later on the Egyptians used this to set the pads for their pyramids.
I watched a little bit about the pyramids the other day.
So he was using ancient Egyptian techniques.
Yeah, absolutely. And it must have worked because he absolutely swore by it. He wouldn't use anything else.
Really?
So you had 2 tripods and what else?
So it's basically a tripod with a bit of flat bar welded onto the top. And you can't adjust them or anything. So you put one on one side of the pad and one on the other side of the pad. And you just stand there on your knees and you eyeball it in. And he was saying, it's about 4 mil out. And he was
He knew
spot
by
on with it
millimetre
too.
just with his eyes. Wow.
That's amazing.
Incredible.
The pyramids, it was about 2,500 BC when they made it. It was 0.02 of a degree out from, trying to point it north or whatever the orientation.
Yeah.
Back then with
Without
blocks that were
Incredible.
50, 80 tonne each.
Yeah. No
Way
spirit
back
levels
then.
back then. No,
Go to
incredible.
Hectorville. G'day, Benny. What's old technology you still running with?
Well, it's not me. It's my lovely mother-in-law and father-in-law. They like to collect old antiques, and they've got... Remember the old phones that used to hang off the wall?
Yep.
Yeah.
With the big dial and the actual ringer? Somehow they configured it so it could actually still ring, even using the new technology.
How good would that be to have one of those at home?
So is it the one where you lift the handle up to the ear and then you put... do they speak into a different part?
Yeah, correct.
I love those
they're
things.
good.
It's like early 1960s or late 60s.
Wow. And wasn't those back in the day when everyone was on the same line in the neighbourhood and people would dial up and you'd go, oh, I'm looking for 50 whatever, and then they'd sort of put it to the next house?
Don't know how it worked, Loza.
In your lifetime, here's a question without notice. How many digits did you have in your phone number? Because I remember
Started
5.
with a 3 when I was little, and we put the 8 in front of the 3 when I was about 5.
But
I
how
think.
many numbers were there?
Oh, so it was 7.
Yeah.
7 it started, now there's 8.
I had 5.
Whoa,
What do you
tits.
mean?
43585. That was our number.
What was it?
43585.
And then they had to keep adding numbers on because the population
Yeah, they kept adding
grew.
numbers as they went along.
Because there wasn't enough variations within it.
Hell.
104.7 Triple M. Stay cool with an Automasters aircon service. Call 1300 Automasters.
Have you heard?
Your Rumour file's been on the money a few times.
Premier says.
Every morning at 7:40am, hear what's happening in Adelaide first. The Rumour Mill.
Now we've got a little bit of info from an insider from Triple M here.
Yeah.
The no repeat workday might be repeated today.
Right. Could be a repeat song today.
Yeah, keep it locked. It's happening.
Go on the standby list for the 50
9
grand.
and 4. Don't tell anyone about that for $50,000. A little birdie told me on the weekend. Now, this is certainly not my hitting zone or area that I would know, but they said it was not 100%, but in the 90s.
Mm.
Harvest Rock, that's a pretty big gig in Adelaide, isn't it?
For sure. We do it. We
Had
give away
last
tickets.
year, I reckon they had Jamiroquai there.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Bernard
I was
Fanning
there
was
last year.
there.
It was bloody awesome.
Paul Kelly was
Yeah.
there. Do you want me to drop a name here that might be a bit of a surprise?
Oh, who have you got? No.
Come off it.
Kyle's?
Yep, it's his
Oh,
favourite
coming
singer.
to Adelaide.
It's my ma.
The Budgie.
Tell me, isn't that sort of more rock and roll, that sort of thing, or not? Does she fit in?
Jamiroquai's not rock and roll.
No, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I think she'd fit right in.
How long
would you
since
go?
Kylie sung in Adelaide.
Oh, a long time. I'd absolutely go.
I don't know if she ever has she?
Her album Fever, I had that in my rotation for a couple of years when I was a kid, and I thrashed it.
Wow, all right. So
Yeah.
Harvest
Minogue.
Rock is on the 12th and 13th of October.
Yeah.
Now,
Right, that's
let's
a big
just
story.
wait and see if that becomes true.
That would sell out because she's had that big resurge with Padam Padam. She won the Grammy. She's starting to make it big overseas in America.
Keep an eye out for that. Kylie
Yeah.
Minogue at Harvest Rock.
Gee, Roo, what a good rumour.
Yeah,
Well done,
don't know if
Rupert.
it's true, but it's
Okay.
in the 90s.
All right.
There we go.
Every day we scroll through the internet looking for things to talk about on the radio, interesting stuff, and I found one this morning. John Singleton is an iconic Australian person. He's sort of
character.
Tell me about him.
Well, he's a billionaire.
Made it big in the world of advertising.
Huge in
television.
radio and radio stations,
Yeah.
didn't he? Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 82 now.
Okay.
He's had a unbelievable life. Just when he owns lots of horses, and when he wins a big race with a horse, he'll shout the entire racetrack, Loz.
Right.
Right. He's that sort of bloke. He's a fun sort of guy, but he's not very lucky in love. Unfortunately, old Singo. He's just split from his 7th wife.
Whoa.
After 7 months of knowing each other, 3 months of marriage, they decided to call it quits. And he
7
said,
months?
I know I'm half mad, but usually the good half makes up for the bad half. And just didn't quite work out. He was with a 44-year-old wife, and he's just decided to call it quits.
Singleton, it's all in the name, isn't it?
You should be single. Yeah, I think you're right
He's
there,
fighting
Loz.
what he is.
Yeah.
He's a big
At his
fan
core.
of wedding cake.
Yeah, that's what it must be.
Loves the taste of it.
He does.
Yeah, he just loves the speeches. Can't
How
get
many
enough.
times do you go before you go, oh, maybe that's just enough?
There are some people, Elizabeth Taylor was married, I think, 8 times, twice to Richard Burton.
Yeah, same bloke.
Married
Twice
him,
to the same bloke?
Yeah, married him, divorced him, and then married him
What,
again.
had someone in between?
Yep, there was someone in between.
I reckon close to home, our very own Bob Francis. I reckon he's up there as well.
Really?
Pretty
5
sure.
double A, John.
Yeah, Bob Francis. Yeah, no longer with
Do you
us.
think the people marrying? So if you're marrying someone who has like 6 divorces under their belt, is the writing not on the wall?
There's warning signs going on.
Or
the
is
red
it
light's
that-
flashing.
That thing of I'm going to be the one to fix him. I feel like I probably would have that attitude. It'll be me who can change him. I'll get him to settle down eventually. I don't know.
Can anyone beat Singo? Or can anyone beat 3? Please, 1 333 53. Have you had 3 or 4 or 5?
How many times have you been married? Or if you know someone, and if you don't want to come on, you can dob
Yeah.
someone in.
Hello on this Monday morning. Rude, It's and Laws with you. Great to have footy back. Good weekend for Port. Maybe not for the Crows, but you get your chance Friday night against Geelong, Roo.
Yeah, it'll be a huge game down there at Adelaide Oval. Looks like the weather's going to be beautiful. About 26 degrees on Friday. Loz, you're sad. The fringe is over. Another month's gone.
Nah, I'm ready. I'm ready for it to wrap up. I've got fringe fatigue, Roo.
Yeah, fringe fatigue.
By the end of it, I'm always ready for a little rest.
Okay.
It's time for Adelaide to sort of head into the great frost, I think. We just go into
record ticket sales, which is great.
Fantastic. It was a brilliant time, but it's come to a close. Hey, it was St. Paddy's over the weekend, and a couple of a few Irishmen made national news. They were sailing their little yacht in Semaphore, and things went a bit skew-iff.
They'd sailed from the York Peninsula, but around 11 a.m. their plans were turned on their side, left stranded for hours in water only waist deep.
Just came down to fly the Irish flag down the coast, and the tide caught us out a little bit. Unfortunately, the flag, it doesn't fly as well as when we're like vertical. But
yeah, I wouldn't have thought.
So did they get across the Gulf, or they?
They did. They got all the way to Semaphore Beach, and then in waist deep water, the rudder, it just got stuck in the sand, and they were there for hours. One of them was my friend's dad, and he was meant to be at their St. Paddy's Day celebrations.
Oh no!
And he ended up on the news. The luck of the Irish.
Yeah, well done.
Stay with us. Big hour on the way. It's 24 degrees in the city right now, headed for a top of 30 around Adelaide today. It's Rude, It's and Laws on Triple M.
It's your last chance for the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery. Get your tickets before March 27. homelottery.com.au.
Triple M breakfast with Rude, It's and Laws.
What a goal!
Overnight sports.
Port Adelaide kicked off its season with a 50-point win over the West Coast Eagles yesterday. Connor Rosie, 27 touches and 2 goals. Likewise, Zach Butters, 27 touches and a goal. Let's hear from Coach Ken Hinkley talking about the new recruits.
You say we're still waiting to see. I mean, today was a great starting point for all three boys. Highlighted why Jason went after the boys that we needed, and they all showed today little bits of helping us get better, I think, and that's what we looked at that through the off season. We looked at the places where we needed to make some gains, and those three boys have certainly added to that in round one. So it's a long way to go, but it was a nice start by all three.
Dom Cassisi gave Ivan Soldo the 3 votes on Triple M yesterday, Roo.
Best on. Yeah, well, that wouldn't surprise me. I thought Connor Rosie was probably a bit better. Radagalier did a good job down back, as did Zerk Thatcher. I thought Charlie Dixon was fantastic earlier. There was a lot of talk that he had a poor summer, and he looked banged up down in the trial game against Freo, but his fingers were
Took
very
a lot of marks,
sticky early.
Yeah.
Had a good start to the game, which is when you want it.
Jed McEntee, unfortunately, concussed, so he will miss the game against Richmond.
Yeah, Richmond have got a few injuries as well. That's 3:30 on Sunday at the MCG. I reckon you'll beat them over there.
All right, now, how did you see the
That'll
Crows
be good
result?
For Soldo up against Nankervis.
Yeah, that's right. Prove a point. How did you see the Crows result, Roo? Down by 6 points to the Suns.
Yeah, and it wasn't a good result. Let's have a listen to Matty Nix.
Probably hurts a little bit more when you get that close after really not having the game on our terms for a half. I mean, we always believe, so we had our chances, but the first half we didn't look like scoring, which was disappointing.
Couldn't move the ball. They were a lot cleaner in the conditions than what Adelaide were, and I think a number of people told me they turned the TV off before they made the comeback in the last quarter. It was a good comeback, but too late, not good enough. They need to turn that around against Geelong Friday night in Adelaide. That all of a sudden becomes a very big game.
Yeah, it does. Gee, kicked the last 5 goals of the game.
Yeah, 1 goal up until then, but they didn't move the ball well enough until they had to move the ball well enough, and then they got going. A lot of sides do that. They're too frightened to move it until they got no option, Dids.
Yep. Okay, what about this? Fremantle beat Brisbane by 23 points. Caleb Sarong, 46 touches.
Yeah, gun football. Freo got a few injuries out of that game, though, and a couple of serious ones as well. So, great win over on their home deck. Melbourne thrashed the Bulldogs yesterday as well. Something a bit funny about the Bulldogs. They're not going too well. Interesting stat here, Ditz. I know you love your stats. Collingwood and Brisbane, both grand finalists, both zip 2.
Yep.
That has never happened in the history of football before.
Wow. Okay.
Both grand finalists losing the first 2 weeks.
What about the attendance record too? 408,000 people across the country. That's a record for round one.
Yeah, that's a record. And you know what? You can even look at some of the games and think, God, there could have been more. There could have been more at the Dogs game. They had 40,000. Probably could have been more at the Port game. What was it, 30-odd thousand there? Is it not a great time, but
34,000.
You think in round one, why wouldn't you go to round one?
Yeah.
No matter who you're playing.
Yeah, no, you're right. Tasmania's long-awaited AFL team will officially unveil its Guernsey, its name, everything tonight. They're saying they're giving out memberships tonight from $10 a pop.
Yeah.
So launching it all
we
tonight.
haven't got much to sign up for a few years, have
Nah,
we?
that's right. But anyway, yeah, exciting to see what they announce. Time for us to go. What you got something for us, Roo?
There's a little press conference about to happen out on the parade for the Nord Food and Wine Festival, which is happening over Gather Round, which is only the week after Easter, which
The first time in a long time.
Yeah, I think it's 12 years or something like that.
Brilliant.
Can't quite get out of anyone what the entertainment is, but it sounds like they're having a bit of a show there.
All right, big announcement this morning.
Yeah, find out about that. Plus, between 9 and 4 today, it's the $50,000 no repeat workday.
Yep.
A song will be repeated
It will
today.
be repeated today. If you hear a song repeated in its entirety by the same artist, 133353 to get put on the $50,000 standby list.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
You're catching up with Roo, Ditz and Loz for breakfast. Thanks to Sterling Homes. Make the move and visit sterlinghomes.com.au today.